Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is that time again. It is time for Alliance War, War 5 of Season 55, and we're about to see how my stupidity has eventually caught up with me. Let's get into it.
So heading into this war, I promised myself that I wouldn't just main Kate Bishop the entire time. It's time to branch out, and to be honest, I didn't have much of a choice. Path 1 this war was not friendly at all to Kate Bishop. We have 3 tactic fights and 1 big bad serpent. So she is in the team, but she's in the team for something later on. We have 3 Hulk fights, we have then a mini-boss with Hulk, and then we have a mini-boss on Boss Island that we'll be taking with Kate Bishop. Now, first fight here is a personal space regen Kindred, and I hear none of you are asking, why am I using Hulk? Well, the reason I'm using Hulk is because between the permanent blacklist and the opponent's bans, so many decay attackers are gone, I literally had no choice. But Hulk's great, and I have a very handy 7-star rank 2 ready to go. So, here we go. And my tactic for fighting with Hulk is just to go for the L3. I'm on the regen lane, and Hulk hits hard, but I just want to get rid of all the RNG with stun, fury procs, trauma, and critical hits. Just get me the big damage, and get me it now. We're going to punch through everything like it's not even there. And here you can see just baiting the L1, draining his power, punishing it, and throwing the L3. And in the time since fight start, we have done 6% health. But now you're about to see, before I even get to a bar of power, so I can get through his route, he's going to be down to 5%. So he drains some of my power, we punish the L2, and I don't have a bar of power. He went down that fast. So just waiting out the route now, not much I can do in this position. And he goes down. Down in exactly a minute. And that is going to be the strategy for basically every single fight with Hulk today. This here is a very nice placement, and I'll explain why in a second. As you see, the recording actually cuts, and you may be wondering why that is. Well, it's because I went off to go and refresh my memory of Jack-o'-lantern's animations. I actually went onto YouTube and looked it up, because this is a very nasty placement. Nothing to do with Jack-o'-lantern in particular. I'm just surprised we haven't seen a tactic defender on masochism over time, because as you can see, my wither debuffs are causing him to go unblockable, and I can't really stop that. Every single time I hit him, he's gonna go unblockable, nothing I can do, and I just get smacked. I get smacked, so I had to go away, I had to rehearse and essentially remind myself of what I've got to deal with, because it's not like I can block anything, it has to be basically perfect. And I did see this placement a lot in off-season, but I'm surprised it's taken us to War 5 to see one in a competitive war. So here, I think I just throw it. Yeah, we just throw it. And up until this point, I have dealt no damage because he was healing it all back. But now we have the enormous physical vulnerability. He's healing all his health back, but this is our time. Now hitting for 16k non-crits on the mediums. And here we bait an L2, he throws it. And now, normally I'd say be careful throwing the L1 with something like masochism, because you don't want your stun to get purified while they're at 3 bars. But in this fight, it's really not going to matter. Boosted Hulk doing what he does best, and Jack-o'-lantern goes down. So from 100 to 0 in that L3 rotation, and that is exactly why we're employing it, down in just over a minute. And we're going to move it on. So this is the big bad serpent. I would say something like we all know him, we all love him, but I think we all know him, we all hate him very, very much, and we wish he wasn't part of the game is more appropriate. So, this is a 7-star rank 3, and I have what I would venture to say is probably the best unawakened counter in the game. I have America Chavez, and I'm not fussed. But you'll see even with an ideal counter just how stupid Serpent is. And also, something I find myself struggling with in BGs, in a mirror match, if it's Chavez versus Serpent, I always seem to lose if my opponent has the same fight. Like, I'm just actually not very good at this fight. I don't know what it is, but let me know in the comment section if you have any constructive tips, because I really don't know how to make this better. I just, you know, spam the heavies in the corner, get up my dimensions, and then I throw my L2. You know, if I have to throw an L1 to get a dimension active, then fine. But I don't see what's wrong with my gameplay. It's just people seem to be doing better than me. But anyway, this first phase of the fight is going very well. I get my negative zone back up to control his power. So this is the do not back down regen. And that regen is absolutely enormous. It's like 8k per second. So dropping our second L2 obviously has the resist up now, which is just ludicrous. So progress is going to be a bit slower now. But now just piling on the negative zone, I do not want to be stuck in his immortality where he's just gaining stupid power gain, because I do not have an invulnerability boost. That was probably something I should have put on, but I did not put on an invulnerability boost. So here, I go for the life attack intercept and I get smacked, which is not great, especially as I just pushed him into death immunity while I have no negative zone. So now his power is shooting up, so he does throw his SP2, and the only problem I have here is he's now back up above a third health, which is fantastic, and of course, perfectly balanced. There's nothing wrong with a champion with a stupid amount of health dying and then regenerating back up to 40% like nothing happened. Of course, this is fine. So going for another enormous SP2, it's not quite gonna do it. He just wants to hang on, but the blocked hit gets him. Alright, Chavez takes it down in 2 minutes. That was an ideal counter. Serpent is stupid. And we have the final path fight. For path 1, it's Man-Thing on buffet over time. Okay, it's only a rank 2. I'm really not stressed about this. Hulk and the boosts we have on at the moment will be absolutely fine. This is the second to last fight with Hulk before we go for our mini-boss. So just hammering in here. Really nothing new compared to the other fights. Just doing the same old routine, get to the L3, win the game. He's healing for an awful lot. But I think that the pattern we're spotting with Hulk is that the first 3 bars of power you gain really don't matter. It's what happens after that that matters. So here we go, throwing the L3. And King of England here. Long live the king and everything, but I don't think he has much longer left to live. As remember, Hulk's damage here is restricted. Those critical hits are doing absolutely nothing more as they would if they were non-critical. But yeah, we're just going to go back in here, throw off the SP1. Oh, no, we're not. I'm forgetting the fight already. Do I go SP2? I believe I do go SP2. And here we go. And 94k non-crit. Even if it was a crit, it would have done the same damage because it's Man-Thing. But quite impressive. So here I don't hit the right button. And then I don't hit the right button again. And then I can't find the right island. And there we go. There's my fight. There's my Morbius. Alright. And I just want to finish up my first phase of war pretty quickly. So I just spend 25 units. No harm done. And I'm looking around. Don't know why. But anyway, this is a Hazard Shift Incinerate Poison. This is what we have in Gladiator Circuit and the Victory Track right now. And also Stun Immunity. Now, the only thing I had in my mind going into this fight, actually there are 2 things. First thing was don't get hit by the Psionic Glide. And the second thing was just wait for the Poison Phase. And as you can see here, I fail miserably immediately at the first thing. It happens immediately. And consequently, I'm going to have to fail at the first thing as well, as I have to get myself out of the corner, and I get smacked by the Hazard Shift. So, all in all, I'd say that's a fantastic start, as I get hit by the Psionic Glide again, and at this point I'm like, alright, well, I've just reached Gamma Rage, but now is not the time to die to a Morbius. I ain't having that, so throw in the L3. This man has no health whatsoever, and I'm just like, I ain't dying to a Morbius. Get this man out of here. Throw your L2, buddy. Massive relic combo incoming. We're hitting for 33k mediums. And here, it was just quite an awkward moment. I just wanted him to throw it. Either his Psionic Glide or his L1. Just make a choice. Awkward. I thought I was going to get smacked again there. But there we go. He goes down. So now is where we see my stupidity catch up with me. So, I want to make it absolutely clear that the events that unfold in this fight were my fault. Not Kate Bishop's fault, my fault. She's perfectly capable of taking this fight. Thing about Mr. Sinister on node 49 is he actually places a DOT on himself from the bleed on the L1, so you don't need a polka dot power counter at all. You just need to not parry. Although, if I had to suggest counters, I would say Warlock, and perhaps even better, Sentinel. They would be two fantastic counters here. But anyway, I have to go in alone with no power start 1 boost, and here I go for the light attack, and he gets a light attack. He parries me, and then I evade, and then I get stunned, and before I even deal a single bit of damage, I'm down below 40% health, and I'm massively on the back foot. We get an L1 out of him, but I am now not a happy bunny, because as a Kate Bishop player, the probability that I just out of muscle memory parry by accident to trigger my evade is very high. And if that happens again, I'm out of here. I'm done. So, baiting the L2, pausing my cold snap, throwing the relic, throwing a heavy. Now the bleed's worn off, we need another L1, and we get one. And also I need to watch out for the brute force node. I can't just back off, because then I get degened. So I need to keep hitting him. I need to keep baiting heavies and punishing to pause the cold snap, and also just make sure I don't get degened. So here, complete force of habit, I just parry. And I take the L2 to the face, and that is a deathless season gone, out the window, dead. I did not feel very happy about this. I was not happy with myself. I mean, I tried to just take an ordinary blocked hit, and I just got the timing unironically right. So it was a bit too perfect, the timing on that parry. And look, if for whatever reason we see Mr. Sinister again on this node, Kate can absolutely do it. If I had a power start 1 boost, I'm sure I would have dealt enough damage to just end it at that point. But as you can see, going back in here, and now the fight's going very smoothly, obviously. Now he's taking what he wants from me. And that is just very frustrating, really. This season was going really well. And, hey, can't have it all, I suppose. So we go in here, apply an L1, full snap, and just baiting the L2, punishing the L2, punishing his heavy, getting another L1 out of him, throw my relic, and I believe that is going to be lights out for Mr. Sinister. So I took that as a personal loss. That's a very frustrating thing to happen, as we just check on the war stats there. But as an alliance, we are, in fact, back to winning ways. So we took this war, albeit by a singular attack bonus. And we did have some drama late on. But overall, we performed well. And I believe we are back on the right track. Now heading in the right direction. 3 for 2 now. So more wins than losses. That's what we want. And look, if I can't win, then at least the Alliance deserves to, and we certainly did that today. Looking forward to coming back next war and crushing it, but we do have a bit of a break now. And if you have made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.